recorded live.
Welcome to another episode of the Müvment Boxing Podcast. The fellas is already going in, so we should have a good episode today. I'm Twine, the Divine Liberty of FoodJab.com and Rocky Mountain Boxing. We also got our co-host on today as usual. We got Bo and Bernard, both of the Truth and Facts About Boxing. We got our other co-host on, Big Cool, of Colossal Boxing Talk. We can hold it down for our boy 2K of the guys of Boxing Talk today. He can't be with us, previous engagements, but, we are brothers at the end of the day, all part of the movement, so we going to hold it down for our brother who can't be here today for us on the show. How y'all doing today, fellas, man?
I'm doing good, man. Woke up, but I'm good. I'm here.
You always sound like you just woke up.
I always just wake up. Shit.
What's good, Bo and Bernard?
I'm good. What's up?
Not much, man. All right, so we're going to get started on today's topics. I guess we're going to start off with this past weekend's fights from Las Vegas. The return of Manny Pacquiao at welterweight after his semi-retirement. He took on Jessie Vargas in the main event for the WBO welterweight title on the pay-per-view card by Top Rank this past weekend. Just want to get everybody's thoughts on the fights, man, to break down what y'all saw. Let me go ahead and start off with Bo on this one, man.
Well, what we saw is what we expected. We saw Manny Pacquiao shine and look good against a C, B- level type fighter. Jessie Vargas, we saw that he's limited. It's exceptionally limited. Okay. We also saw a fighter who is still an A-level elite status type fighter going up against a younger guy who wasn't on the same level as him, and we just saw a total outclassing. We saw a total, I'm not going to say a total outclassing, but we definitely saw why he's Manny Pacquiao and why Jessie Vargas is, Jessie Vargas. But at the end of the day, what I want to remind people is that, again, let's not get caught up in that fool's gold. When Manny Pacquiao fought Chris Algieri, everybody thought, because he looked so good, that, they was ecstatic about him fighting Mayweather. And Algieri is no Mayweather. And that's all I heard again after beating Jessie Vargas. They was ecstatic about maybe him in the Mayweather too because he looked so great. And it's like, again, Jessie Vargas is not Floyd Mayweather. Jessie Vargas ain't Thurman Thomas, Earl Spence, or fucking...
Hold off on that one, but we're going to get more into that, the Floyd Mayweather too talk.
Okay. But we saw were... Listen, Manny Pacquiao still gets caught by the lead right hand. Jessie Vargas landed that a couple of times. Okay? Manny Pacquiao still gets caught by the lead right hand. I saw Manny Pacquiao that when he did get hit, he was a little hesitant. Like, I didn't see that Manny Pacquiao, people may disagree with me, I didn't see the Manny Pacquiao with that killer instinct that I remember seeing him before he got knocked out by Marquez. Okay? But he still has high-level skill. He's still a high-level talent, but he still fights one way. Manny Pacquiao, he fights the same. He fought Jessie Vargas the same way. He fights all of his fights. So, although it was a good fight, there was a lot of things, like Manny Pacquiao, I think his punch count was 20 punches less than when he fought Timothy Bradley. But the way he fights his in and out, he was able to take away Jessie Vargas' height, Jessie Vargas' reach. He was able to take away those advantages. And, again, Jessie Vargas, he was able to land that counter right hand, but he just didn't have the foot speed. He just didn't have the skill set to compete with Manny Pacquiao, and that's unfortunately that's what we saw was an elite level fighter against a B, C level type guy, and God bless him, he won another title. I give him all the credit in the world. The dude was still 20 years. The guy still was 20 years a little younger than him. So I give him all the credit in the world for that, and congratulate him on it.
All right, I'm going to pass it over to Bernard on this one, man. What was your take on the fight from Manny Pacquiao and Vargas?
I'm here. I missed the phone.
I thought the fight was a good fight. I thought Jessie Vargas did a good job. He didn't do enough to win, though. I scored the fight. In my personal opinion, it was 115-113. I don't feel Manny Pacquiao won. It was a blow-away win for Manny Pacquiao. I felt like there was punches that Pacquiao was getting caught by. Again, we already said Bo said the lead right hand. But when they did get up in the clinch, Jessie Vargas was working the body at times. I don't think people even noticed that. Not even the commentators noticed that Vargas was giving him a couple of body shots. I will say this though, he did. I want to say he did knock down Jessie Vargas in round 2. I got kind of sorry because I said I did pick Jessie Vargas for the upset. But Jessie Vargas reestablished himself in the 4th round, I believe, if not the 5th. And then you kind of saw it was kind of back and forth. But then the championship rounds, Pacquiao won those rounds, and therefore won the fight, in my opinion.
All right, let me go ahead and pass it over to Big Cool on this one, just on another perspective. Your thoughts on Pacquiao coming back, just him headlining this card in general. Did you take that he's still the headline guy and needs to be out there fighting these young welterweights, or what was your take from the fight?
He definitely capable of fighting and defeating some of these younger guys. But like Bo said, he is who he is. I mean, he's not going to show any significant improvements. I mean, the killer instinct wasn't there. I felt that he could have pressed the action a little more in the 2nd round when he dropped Jessie Vargas, who was definitely nervous, fighting uptight, and you could just tell by Jessie Vargas' mannerisms, how he was talking in the pre-interview. He looked so funny. He was just smiling, standing at the camera. And that right there told me that he wasn't ready for what he was going to be encountering.
I disagree with that. I disagree. I felt he was confident going into that fight. I disagree.
Huh?
I disagree. I felt he was confident. He showed confidence, in my opinion.
I mean,
he showed confidence. I mean, that's your take, again, but I felt that he was confident.
I mean, yeah, of course he was confident, but I'm saying he still was nervous. I mean, and he showed early on in the fight, but as the fight wore on, he loosened up, and he did land some right hands, and like you said, he did land some body shots. Manny Pacquiao, we all know what he's hittable with. His inside game is not strong. He lacks the killer instinct or the willingness to go for it all once he gets his opponent hurt. But, I mean, Jessie Vargas is a good fighter, and he came as far as I believe his skills are going to take him. But, I mean, Manny Pacquiao is definitely capable of still beating some of the younger guys. I don't think he beats a Crawford, but, I mean, it remains to be seen if he get matched up with some of the other guys from different promotional companies or, are managed by different fighters. So until we see him against some guys outside of top rank, it's really hard to gauge and say, well, he's really still that guy. But against Vargas, he looked like he's a guy that still can beat, the lower second half of, the back half of the welterweight division, in my opinion. But it was a good performance.
All right, so we'll go ahead and touch on the whole aftermath of the fight now then, since you guys are starting to, bring that up a little bit. There's been a lot of talk since from Bob Arum, talks about Terrence Crawford, Vasyl Lomachenko, Floyd Mayweather too. This is just in the post-fight, things that have come out since. I'll go ahead and start with Bo again on this one. What are your thoughts on either any of those fights taking place, or are they necessary? Especially the Mayweather-Pacquiao 2 fight, which was thrown out there too, even though Mayweather been retired, going on the past year. So,
no, the fight's not necessary. Hell no, that fight's not necessary. I mean, listen again. This is we need to have a come to Jesus moment with these fans and even Bob Arum. Was there anything we really saw different with the way he fought Jessie Vargas that would lead me to believe he would do something different against Floyd Mayweather? No. Again, it's Jessie fucking Vargas. I mean, let's just keep it. I mean, hey, let's just keep it 100. It was Jessie fucking Vargas. Okay? Floyd Mayweather's skill set level is light years ahead of Vargas. Vargas, like I said, I'm about to say, he's no Thurman. He's no Earl Spence. Hell, he's not even a fucking Danny Garcia. It was Jessie fucking Vargas. Now, he was a guy who won a champion by beating another C-level goddamn fighter, Saddam fucking Ali. Right? And if we really want to keep it 100, he only won the belt because Bradley dropped it, so he fought for a belt that he previously got his ass beat for in the first fucking place. Right? Okay, so it was Jessie Vargas. No, there's no need to see this Mayweather fight because what'll happen is if they fight, Mayweather's going to fight the same way. He's going to beat him, and guess what motherfuckers going to say? They're going to trash the fight like they did the first motherfucking fight. So, no, we don't need to see this fight. It was Jessie goddamn Vargas. Just because Floyd was there don't mean shit. Floyd goes to a lot of fucking fights. That ain't got shit to do with nothing. Now, don't get me wrong. There'll be people out there that want to see it because, again, it's fool's gold. They saw him beat him. They saw him look great. And they thinking, oh, he's back. No, he ain't fucking back. He just beat Jessie goddamn Vargas. That's all the fuck he did. He beat Jessie fucking Vargas, y'all. You know, show me if somebody can point out in this fight where Manny Pacquiao did something different to make us think that, he would fare better against Floyd. If you show me in this fight where his skill set was improved, if you show me in this fight where the way he fought changed, show me something in this fight, his IQ, show me something in this goddamn fight that points to me that beating Jessie fucking Vargas, and again, I'm not taking nothing away from him, I'm just keeping it, I'm just having this come to Jesus moment with everybody listening. Show me something in this fight where beating Jessie Vargas makes you think it's going to be different with Floyd Mayweather. It's not. He's still the same Pacquiao. He has one style. He has one gear. He fights one way. Freddie Roach wasn't even telling him nothing to do something different. Freddie Roach didn't even tell him to try to do something different in the fucking corner. All right, so, no, man, he don't need to fight Floyd Mayweather. We need to stop that. Floyd is retired. It's funny how a guy that's retired that people couldn't wait to fucking leave, they keep waiting him to come out. That shit is funny to me, man. It's funny to me, man.
But to be fair,
He's telling the truth.
But to be fair, Floyd did say he would. I mean, recently he would come back for the right. I mean, for the payday, for the right opponent. So
but he's supposed to say that, dog.
Okay,
he can make $200 million. Wait a minute. But what I'm saying is, he only saying that because they're asking him. Okay, if I'm Floyd Mayweather, you telling me you're gonna give me another $200 million for easy work? You goddamn right. Okay, I'll come back for that easy work. He's supposed to say that. He ain't supposed to say, nah, man, I'm retired. No, he'd be crazy. It's easy work.
If he say that, then fans supposed to, talk about potential matchups. I mean, if he
but they still talk about potential matchups that we feel is good matchups. Who in the fuck feels that Pacquiao is a good matchup right now? That's my question. Who feels that Pacquiao is a good matchup?
Nobody feels it, but you already know how Floyd rolls. Floyd, if he could get another $200 million and against the same guy, why not? I mean, right. I don't think he would fight DSG. Not that he's scared of him, but I mean.
Be cool. I'm not mad at Floyd. He's supposed to say what he's supposed to say. And at the end of the day, you still want to remain relevant. I get that. I'm talking about these fans and Balderas, talking like this. Like, dude, when at the end of the day, tell me if they fight. Somebody tell me motherfuckers going to be doubly pissed off when the fight go down this the same fucking way. They're going to be doubly pissed off.
Oh, he ran. That's all you're going to hear.
Right, you know what I'm saying? They're going to be doubly pissed off. And man, hold on. You know what? I'm going to tell you this right here. When the fight starts, if he signs and they're going to fight, you know what people going to say? Well, we hope Floyd don't clinch and do all that shit he did in the last fight. Otherwise, I'm going to be pissed. And you know that's what they're going to say. So
I feel you.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not mad at Floyd for saying, hey, okay, I'll come back to the same place because guess what? He wants to remain relevant. He is a promoter. He self-promotes and he wants to remain relevant. So I'm not mad at you telling me you give me easy $200 million. Man, no problem. You know what I'm saying? Hey, let's make this happen. I'm not mad at him for that. But for these fans to look at Jessie Vargas and say, hey, look at what he did to Jessie Vargas. Let's give us Floyd. That's crazy thinking. That's fool's gold. Because show me where Jessie Vargas' skill set level is equivalent to Floyd, Thurman, Garcia, Earl Spence. And I'm not saying none of them dudes beat Manny. I'm just saying on a skill set level, we know that they shit is higher than Jessie Vargas.
Yeah. I mean, I don't understand.
Hold on, fellas. We got a couple of callers on the line. I'm going to see if they're trying to get on or if they're just listening. So let me check on with these guys. We got caller 1 from California. Did you have a comment or a question, or are you just tuning in for the show today, man?
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can agree with the guy who's saying right now. I mean, Vargas, it's funny how they give credit every fighter Pacquiao beats. If Floyd would have fought Vargas, they would have trashed Floyd Mayweather straight up. But every time every time Pacquiao fights somebody, they will give him credit. That is who it is. Let's say if Mayweather would have fought Johnny Garcia, it would be, he's cherry picking. But if Pacquiao would have fought Johnny Garcia, they would have given the full credit, you know. It is how it is, you know. People are just razor, you know. And and it's funny. I'm not lying, you know. I love boxing, but I fucking fell asleep half of the fight with Jessie Vargas and Pacquiao. To be honest, I don't think it was entertaining like people are saying. To be honest, I fell asleep. I'm not even lying. You know, I don't know how. I don't think Pacquiao's the same fighter that people are saying. Ever since the Marquez fights, have you seen all his fights? Lately, they've been boring. Rios fight, Jerry, you know, the list goes on. Which fight have you been entertained in terms of the Marquez fight? You know, to be honest, I would love to see Eric Spencer against either Pacquiao or Terence Crawford, you know. I think that's the best test, you know. To be honest, I'd rather see Terence Crawford against, right now, Pacquiao. Pacquiao's going to, like, you know, I'd rather see the fight in short. If he did prove his skill like they're saying, you know, if he does beat Terence Crawford, hey, I don't mind seeing him against Mayweather. But to be honest, I think Mayweather is just waiting for Canelo and Triple G. I'm guessing if he beats Triple G, that people are going to demand the rematch against Canelo and Mayweather. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay. It's possible. Bob Arum definitely did put out the talks about Terence Crawford again. Of course, they said it would have to be at 140. And Vasil Lomachenko's name was thrown out there as well. I don't know. That's kind of the outlandish one, kind of up in the air.
But the thing is, Bob Arum is not going to promote against Terence Crawford. If you think about it on paper, it's not going to sell because a lot of people don't know Terence Crawford, you know, and that's a high reward, you know, and real hardcore fans want to see the fight, but casual fans, they're going to be with Terence Crawford, you know, ain't going to sell. That's the thing, you know. That's what Bob Arum is trying to look. That's why Terence Crawford flew against Victor Pistol, because they wanted to see how big Terence Crawford, you know, how much he could sell. He wanted to see that. He saw a lot. Hell yeah, he's going to pull against Manny Pacquiao. They'll be, you know what? Fuck Pacquiao. He's going to be my new superstar. He saw he couldn't sell, so he's not going to put him against Terence Crawford right now. You guys agree or disagree? That's what I think.
Yo, let me say something real quick.
All right, hold on, Bernard. Let me thank the caller for their question, and Carmen. Just stay tuned in to the show, man. But thanks for your comment, man.
Oh, you can call me Medusa or Bachelor.
Okay, for sure, man. All right, stay tuned in.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Bernard.
Okay, we sticking on potential opponents for Pacquiao. We was talking about this just.
Yeah. It was Terence Crawford's name thrown out there, Mayweather 2, and Vasil Lomachenko's name was thrown in the air at 135. Out there as well.
Bo went in on the whole Mayweather fool's gold thing, and I totally agree with him. But I'm going to take it on the level of the Terence Crawford and the Lomachenko. I see the Terence Crawford fight potentially happen if you're going to make Pacquiao's going to for sure retire, and you're going to pass the torch as from one cash cow, the old cash cow, to the possible new cash cow, which would be Terence Crawford. I can see that happening.
Yeah.
I can see that happening, but I can also see that fight not happening because Freddie Roach does not like that type of style of fighter against Manny Pacquiao. So I can see that fight also not happening. The Lomachenko fight, it's a reach, but I could possibly see them kind of pushing that fight. I know it's kind of reckless, but you know what? At this time, it's Bob Arum. He's willing to take a risk. That's another cash cow of his versus his old cash cow. So I could see either way, you're throwing your old cash cow to the new young bulls, and whoever beats him is going to be the new face of Top Rank. That's how I'm seeing Top Rank. Because let's be honest, since Pacquiao got stretched by Marquez, he has not fought any other top welterweight in the division other than Timothy Bradley, which was what, three times. He fought Mayweather, and you have to now give him Jessie Vargas because he was a champion. But he hasn't touched any other top 10 welterweight. All he fought Chris Algieri, who was a junior welterweight champion. He fought Brandon Rios, who came off a loss. I mean, really, he hasn't really been tested in the welterweight division. We were wanting to see him against a possible fight with him and Robert the Ghost Guerrero Jr. Robert the Ghost Guerrero. I wanted to see that fight. Who else was in the welterweight division? Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao fight. I wanted to see that particular fight. Hell,
Manny Pacquiao. I ain't mean to cut you off, but Manny Pacquiao, he know better too. There's a reason why he fighting the Vargas and other worlds and the Bradley. You want to put it over? You could say Manny. I could agree with you to an extent, but I really believe it's Bob Arum protecting him and 30 Rose protecting him as a fighter.
I'm gonna agree with Bernard on his assessment about it being a thing to where they're trying to put the new cash cow out there. That's why those names are being thrown out there. It's really just the passing of the guard transition kind of thing from the old cash cow to the new cash cow, like Bernard said. So I definitely agree with his stance on that one. Big Cool, let me get your opinion on basically, is the Lomachenko fight a stretch? Is it any legitimacy to them even throwing that name out there at 135, considering Pacquiao hasn't fought below 140 in years?
I mean, Lomachenko, respect his skills, great young fighter, but he don't get to come in talking about some Pacquiao got to fight him with 135. It just don't fly. It don't matter who Pacquiao can fought his last two fights. If you want to fight Pacquiao, you go up to 140, or maybe Pacquiao be generous in 138 or something like that. The only way that fight happens at 135 is if Manny Pacquiao wants to happen, and he's fully capable of making 135. But I mean, it would be an intriguing fight, I guess. If depends on how Lomachenko looks against Nicholas Walters, and they fight a couple weeks from now. But it's a reach to make that fight happen at 135. But the two guys you're hearing now, you throwing Lomachenko name and also Terrence Crawford, it kind of looked like De La Hoya when he fought Pacquiao, not in terms of Pacquiao being completely shot, but just being past his prime just enough where those are bad matchups, because both of these guys are supremely talented, and I see definitely Terrence Crawford beating Manny Pacquiao if they fight.
He's real hungry right now. He's real hungry, and Pacquiao going against a hungry fighter like Crawford right now wouldn't bode well for him at this stage of his career.
And Crawford more aggressive than Floyd at this stage of his career, so if he thinks he got you hurt, he will go for it. And Lomachenko, tremendous footwork, tremendous hand speed, good power. And if he could, just outbox you just off footwork alone, because he has better, feet than Manny, even though Manny has some, good feet and good, foot speed. But at the stage, Manny just doesn't have it. And I think Manny's pride also is kind of like, nah, I really don't want to face Crawford or anybody that can really put an ass whooping on me unless it's going to be really worth it. That's why he keeps throwing out Floyd Mayweather's name. He knows Floyd will carry him for 12 rounds. They're going to make some great money, and they can call it a day. So I think it took Floyd.
It ain't just Manny Pacquiao, though. It ain't just Manny Pacquiao.
At the end of the day, it is the money worth the most fight. Even if they did a rematch, it would outdo anything else out there, unfortunately. It doesn't need to be made, though. It will turn out the same time. 10 times out of 10, Floyd will whoop Manny's ass. You know what I'm saying?
But see, this goes back to what I said a while back when we all was talking. What I said there's too many missed opportunities going on in boxing, and we're doing it again. We're focusing on this fight, right? With Floyd and Manny Pacquiao. And you got all these guys. Right, you got Usyk. Usyk should be being talked about, okay? You got, you got these other great fights. You got Kovalov and Ward coming up. You got J-Rock and Charlo coming up. So you got all these guys that we should be giving the spotlight to and stop focusing on a fight that we pretty much know what the outcome is.
And we already saw.
I agree. I mean, until Manny and Floyd decide to really hang it up for good, I mean, we're going to always talk about them just because they're going to be linked forever. They fought finally.
Actually, we can make the choice now that we don't. I mean, I understand Mayweather is brought up in the news in some way, shape, or form, but we are ready to talk about it. We can make that choice now. Say, you know what? Every time, unless Mayweather legitimately will come out of retirement, he's in training camp, and he signed a contract, we can speak on. Until then, this is all speculation. Fuck him. Let's talk about these other fighters. Let's talk about this Oscar Valdez, how he did.
Yeah. We'll definitely love. We got to move on to the rest of the card anyway, fellas. So you know what I'm saying. We just touched on this one a little bit too much as far as Pacquiao's end of it. We'll touch on the rest of the card, for a brief moment. In the first undercard bout, we had Ju Shimig of
Twine.
China.
Hey, Twine. James Bashir is on the line. Listen.
Okay. We got him on. Can we get him on for an interview real fast or?
Yeah. You sure can.
Okay, definitely, man. All right, so we'll come back to these topics. We're gonna bring on James Ali Bashir, Uncle James, as we call him, trainer of Oleksandr Usyk of the Ukraine, trainer from the School of Kronk. You know what I'm saying? His mentor is Manny Stewart, the great legendary Manny Stewart. So what more can I say about him? Let's bring him on. Welcome, Uncle James Ali Bashir. How you doing today, man? Hello?
You click him in?
Yeah, I got him unblocked. He's in this California call.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
No, that's not him. That's not him. He's not a California call. He's another call.
Yeah, my bad.
That's why it's so quiet.
All right. Yeah, so we ain't got him on the call right now, so I guess we'll keep talking on the rest of this card. I'll start with being cool on this one. Did you catch the Zu Shimig fight for the flyweight title against Baby Pacquiao?
Yeah, man, that's crazy. I ain't gonna lie, I thought it was Bobby Pacquiao for a minute when I was like, damn, Bobby brother still fight. Yeah, I mean, Zu Shimig, whatever his name is, he definitely was dominant. I mean, he threw any punch he wanted, he landed at will. I mean, he was hit with a few shots when he was, starting to brag and feel himself a little bit, but I think there was a rematch, if I'm not mistaken. He thoroughly dominated the fight. It was a pretty entertaining scrap, considering he was in the fight, because he doesn't really put on too many entertaining bouts. But he has improved since, making his pro debut a few years ago. He's been brought along slowly, won a couple, titles, and, got a lot of confidence and kind of, found himself as a professional. But it was a good fight, a fight that he should have won, and he thoroughly dominated. So, I'd like to see him against some better fighters in the future, but his performance was good considering the opponent, and he did try to make an effort to get him out there. You heard this guy a few times, but he showed some flaws, which makes him a little more eager to watch his next fight, because he showed that he's hittable and that he got a little personality. So, hopefully he steps it up a notch again in his next fight.
Hey, Uncle James is on the line. He's on the line with me now.
Okay.
Hello?
You got
Hello?
Hey, how's it going?
Everything's going okay. I was listening to you guys. I just couldn't. You guys couldn't hear me, but I've been listening to you guys for 15 minutes or so, and I couldn't get in to say anything, but what I'd like to say here is that let's give Manny Pacquiao a break. I mean, here's a guy that had fought 3 times with Morales, 3 times with Barrera, 5 times with Marquez. Those 3 fights alone were career-ending fights. He's hopped numerous divisions. He's fought more top guns than anybody that I know in recent history. You know, and he didn't fight him 1 time or 2 times. He fought him 3 times and 5 times. You know, so if he's taking a break by fighting guys like Vargas or whatever, okay. But the sport owes Manny Pacquiao something now. Manny Pacquiao is giving blood and guts for years. How much can anybody expect from a guy that's 37 years old who's been in the fire constantly? Every single year this guy's been in the fire, you know, with the top contenders, the top guns, the top champions, or those people who were right below those top champions. So how much can we expect from it? I mean, it's real. Every time I turn around, something on in there, they want him to fight Canelo. They want him to fight Lomachenko. They want him to fight this guy. They want him to fight that guy. I mean, who cares about Manny Pacquiao? Everybody's throwing him in with King Kong and their mother, and we expected miracles from him. The guy is used up. And Freddie Roach was really, really a friend of Manny Pacquiao. He would pull him to the side and say, hey, man, hang him up. It's time to go. Because he's going to get hurt sooner or later. Who's going to be around to help him when he's sitting around in a wheelchair sipping soup? Not the fans, not the pundits, not the media, nobody but his family. So let's give Manny Pacquiao a break. Let him go out to pasture. You know, what else can he do? This guy's come up so many divisions. He's fought everybody. What else can he do?
All right, so let me get your opinion on this, Uncle James. Do you think Bob Arum is basically using Pacquiao in a position to where he could build his next pay-per-view name as far as Crawford or Lomachenko? Because those were names that were thrown out after his bout on Saturday against Vargas as far as potential opponents as well as the Mayweather fight.
Bob Arum is doing what promoters do. This is heartless bastards. They're heartless, man. I mean, they're going to pimp this guy until he ain't got no soles on his shoes. And then when he's all used up there, throw him out the pasture and bring in somebody new. So Bob Arum is just doing what promoters do. You want to fight? We'll throw you a couple of dollars, you get in there and fight. You don't care what happens to him during the fight. You don't care what happens to him after the fight. So, you know, that's what promoters do. They're some heartless bastards, man, you know? I think that is a responsibility of Freddie Roach now to pull the man aside and say, hey, thank you for your services. Go out to pasture. You know, sooner or later, it's going to catch up with Pacquiao. Can't keep getting beat on like that in training camps. All of those years he spent in training camps. Can't keep getting beat on like that there. The same goes for Bernard Hopkins. You can't keep people pounding it because one day it just takes one clean shot to bring all of those fights down on one fighter. All it takes is one clean shot, and it can happen in the training camp, or it can happen in the fight. All it takes is one clean shot on a pressure point, the temple, the chin, is to bring down all of those years of boxing down on a fighter. And then what do they got? It doesn't make sense, you know.
So you would advise Pacquiao to stay retired. You know, there's nothing else we need to see from him.
If I had any influence on him, on Floyd Mayweather, they keep tempting fate. You know, God give everybody a certain time to do something. And then when it's over, walk away. God gives each one of us an ability to do whatever it is that we do well. whatever it is, whether we're a writer, whether we're a painter, whether we're an orator, a preacher, whatever we do, he gives us a certain time to do it, and then he gives us signals. There are signals that he gives each one of us that now it's time to stop. It's best to heed those signals and get out. You keep tempting fate, what's going to happen is the same thing that happened to Ray Leonard versus Camacho. He went in there, and the magic wasn't there. He pulled the button, he masked the button, and nothing happened. Nothing happened. Who ever thought that Camacho would do that to Ray Leonard?
Or Terry Norris.
But he did.
Yeah.
Look at the condition that Terry Norris. Look at the condition Melvin Taylor is in. David Reed. All of them guys. Look at the condition. Just one more fight. So it doesn't make sense. It's up to the trainers and the people around them to say, no, stop. Get out. In my mind, I told God he fought too long. He should have been stopped. Muhammad Ali fought too long. He should have been stopped. But the people around him, if the people around him says, oh, yeah, we can get one more payday, just one more payday. And then after that payday, it'll be another payday. They'll find another reason to put him back in it. And then when the guy is done, used up, nobody's around. And nobody talks about this. Nobody discusses this. Everybody wants the thrill, to put the guy in there. And Floyd is 40 years old now. He's still talking about boxing. Floyd needs to stay out of the thing. And if you're going to fight Errol Spence. You understand? Fight Errol Spence. Give the people a show. If you want to come back, Floyd, come back and fight Errol Spence. So we can really know that you're in a fight where anybody can win. You or Spence can win. Come back and fight somebody. Don't come back and fight Pacquiao. No, don't fight Pacquiao. Anybody can be a big pay-per-view fight with Floyd Mayweather. Anybody can.
True.
Floyd got the name, so anybody can fight him.
All right, I wanted to get your opinion on this while we got you on the line. Your fighter, pretty much Oleksandr Usyk, he, I guess, had a fight announced recently. It's looking like he's going to be on the Bernard Hopkins, Joe Smith undercard going against Dmitry of South Africa. Is that official, or is it still in talks right now?
As far as I know, that fight is 95% done. Machuno is our guy. He's the guy.
Okay, and is the plan to keep him fighting over here in the U.S. After his debut on this card?
I believe so. I'm thinking so.
Okay.
I haven't spoken to his manager yet about it, but my thinking is, that he's going to try to fly his way into the American market.
As you know, Usyk has the same manager as fellow Ukrainian,
Lomachenko.
Yeah. So that definitely should be well. Okay. I didn't know that. Okay.
It's Kovalev too.
Okay. All right, fellas, you got any questions for Uncle James?
Yeah, Uncle James is Bo over here. I got a question for you. When me and you was talking, and we was talking about what's going on in the gyms and how they are training these, and how some certain trainers are training these guys, and how you were saying back in your day, trainers were brought up like apprenticeships, and nowadays training is not being done. Elaborate more of that for our listeners, because you were saying that what we're seeing in today's boxing, you're seeing flash but no skill.
Well, you have a lot of young guys. They work the Golden Gloves 1 week, and then the next week they're working in a professional corner, and they don't know nothing. I mean, these guys are 30, 40, 45 years old, and you can't tell them anything because they know everything. And then when you question them as to who have they worked under, who did they do their apprenticeship under, and they can't give you one. Not many, just one. They haven't given me one name from any stage of the sport. You know, and like I told you, I worked under numerous trainers before I even trained an amateur boxer. You know, I worked around a lot of guys, and I worked under those guys steadfastly. I carried the water, fucking I did what I was told to do. But most of all, I always was inquisitive. I always asked questions as to why did they tell us, give a fighter a particular instruction, or why did they teach him to block a punch a certain way or throw a punch a certain way. I always inquired and asked questions. So each one of those guys I worked with and under, you know, Slim Robinson, Sam Solomon, you know, Carmine Graciano, Eddie Aliano, Percy Richardson, you know, and the list goes on. Lee Black, Bill Miller, Walter Smith, Luther Burgess, and right up to Emmanuel Stewart. I worked with Emmanuel Stewart for 17 years. 17 years I worked with the man. And I always asked questions. I always observed. And I took a mental note from each one of those guys, and I formulated my own style of training boxing. But now everybody comes in the gym, and everybody has this fancy pad work they do, you know, which Emmanuel and I used to discuss it all the time. Emmanuel hated it. Emmanuel Stewart hated the modern pad work. He hated it because it's all wrong. But they do it, and they do it for the flash, and then that makes them a big time trainer. They do this thing, and right then and there, that makes them a big time trainer. And that's not even a fourth of what boxing is about. In fact, I boxed from 1959 to 1970. You know, and I never hit a pad in my life. I didn't know what a pad was until like 77, 78. That's when pads started being utilized. If they was around, they wasn't around the gym that I was in. I never saw them. I never used them, never saw them. We did everything we had to do on the double end bag and on the heavy bag and the instructions from the trainers. So, yes, a lot of flash and show, and that's the problem with America. It's the problem with American boxing. It's the reason that American boxing is on the down. It's going out the window now because there are no teachers. There are no teachers that can benefit the boxers now. We have one guy, this kid Shakur, who got a silver medal. When was the last time that an American boxer came in and got a silver medal? Hey, just think. You know what I'm saying? Reggie Jones.
Yeah, I want to say Deontay Wilder might have been the last medalist.
The last medal,
before
he was.
A bronze medal. Deontay Wilder won a bronze medal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thus the moniker, the Bronze Bomber. I'm talking about a silver medal. When was the last time an American claimed a silver medal? Outside of Andre Ward. Andre Ward got the gold medal. But outside of there, David Reed before that. But, I mean, you know, the best squad we ever had was the 76 squad. 1976 was the best squad that America ever produced. I don't think America ever produced another a squad before or after that time. So now you got a bunch of people going around disguised, and don't let these guys make a mistake and get a champion, because once they get a champion, you really can't tell them nothing. And then when you see these guys under pressure in the big fights, they always fail the boxer because they can't think about what they need to tell them because they don't know. They haven't had nobody to train them. The trainers have to be trained. The teachers have to be trained. You understand what I'm saying? They have to be trained. They have to be taught in order to bring the level of American boxing to a reputable status to where it once was. Going back to the 50s, 60s, 70s, you had good, solid teachers. Now what do you got? Guy wins the title one time, and the very next fight he loses the title. because there are no real teachers. There are no quality teachers in the sport.
Okay, so let me ask you a couple more questions to follow up on this, Uncle James. Is this something you practice within your gym as far as apprenticeships with young guys trying to get in on the trainer side? And another question on top of that is, out of the young trainers out there, like, you know, we have the Stephen Breadman Edwards and Derrick Jameses of the world that are new and up and coming, you know, the John David Jacksons, the ex-pro fighter himself. Do you think, you know, who do you think are the best out of those up and coming trainers?
Derrick James and John David Jackson, they were former fighters.
Yeah.
Right? So they were right. So they're right around the corner from understanding the nature of the sport. That's not to say that every ex-boxer is a good trainer, because I'll see some ex-boxers that are lousy trainers. They have a night. Derrick James and John David Jackson, they're different. Those guys are in the mix, and they understand the nature of the sport. They understand it. So they're pretty good teachers, you know, and they're having pretty good success with the fighters. So you can't argue with the tasting of the pudding. My mother always says that the proof is in the tasting of the pudding. So you can't argue with the results that they've had.
And as far as you doing apprenticeships within your own gym, or you know, is that something you try and practice or try to carry on as far as you know, the way you came up in the game?
At my age now, I don't want to waste time with a bunch of wise ass. You understand? I don't want to cast not your pearls amongst swine to be trampled upon. I don't want to waste my wisdom. I don't want to waste my energy with a bunch of wise guys that's unappreciative. I want to part wisdom with guys that's going to say, you know what, I appreciate you, I respect you. I've got all of those trainers that I work with. I've got a little piece of each one of them in my mind. And I always pay homage to those guys, because without them, I couldn't be who I am.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have come this far without them. So I don't want to part wisdom with a bunch of wise guys, you know, smart asses that think that they know and they don't know. I look at them every day in the gym. I say, oh, my God, they're teaching these kids wrong. But I don't intervene. I don't interfere. I don't intervene. You know why? Because they didn't ask me to. They're not humble. They're arrogant. Everybody thinks they know. Everybody's a boxing trainer. You know, one guy said to me, said, I'm the same. We're doing the same thing. I said, yeah, we do the same thing to a degree. He said, but I'm the same as you. I said, no, you're not. He said, yes, I am. I said, no, you're not. He said, yes, I am. I'm a boxing trainer too. I said, what do you do for a living? He said, what? I said, what do you do for a living? He said, I work in the hospital. I said, I work in boxing. I worked in boxing for years. I've come and stuck a key inside my door and couldn't get in because I couldn't pay the rent because I was out busy trying to be a boxing trainer. I've lost homes, all right? Yeah, I've forfeited homes because I couldn't pay the mortgage. We're not the same. You have a job that you have unemployment benefits, health benefits. If you get injured, you got benefits. So you're not taking the same chance as I am. So you're not the authority here. I'm the authority because I'm the one that's fucking losing. I'm the one that's fucking losing. I'm the one that's out there making my bones in boxing. You got one foot inside that hospital where you're guaranteed your paycheck. I got both my feet in boxing. And if I don't make it in boxing, then I don't eat. So that makes us different. That makes me the authority. You know what I'm saying? Don't try to be an expert while you're working at it. hospital, while you're working inside of City Hall, while you're a fireman, a policeman, a water department. Don't try to play like expert while you got your job safe. If you really believe in what you're doing, then say, I'm quitting the workforce, I'm going to be a full-time trainer. That's when you can talk to me. But if you can't do that there, then you can't tell me nothing. I've done this for years, and I made a living out of it. And I challenge all of those people what is faith. I've got a history. My history is there. My history is there for the world to see. I turned Jamil McCline professional. I trained Shannon, Briggs, Maurice Harris, Monty Barrett. You know, I've been around this thing. I paid my dues. You understand? I paid my dues the hard way. I've missed weddings. I've missed funerals. I missed PTA meetings. I've missed a lot of stuff in my life trying to be a boxing trainer. So if I say something that is gospel, because I paid for it the hard way, I paid for it. I didn't always do well. My ass was dragging the ground a whole lot of times, but I was out there trying to make it happen because I believed in what I was doing. And until those people that work at the hospital, so they do what I do, they can't tell me nothing. They can't come and tell me nothing because they're not investing in themselves. They're not investing in themselves the way I was.
All right, fellas. Bo,
Okay,
cool. Y'all got any other questions for Uncle James while he's on?
No, I don't. I would like to say this. I respect what he said. I was just listening in and taking the gems in because I potentially would like to become a trainer one day into the sport. So I was just taking in the knowledge. That's all. Thank you for the knowledge that you shared, Joy.
Same here.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
I got a question. I got a question, Uncle James.
Mm-hmm.
Crunk's Gym, basement of Crunk's Gym. When you fought in that basement of Crunk's Gym, what was those sparring matches like? Because you talking about Hearns, Tommy Hearns, and guys like that. What were some of those sparring sessions like, real quick?
I'll tell you what a sparring session was like in the Crunk Gym. When you got Gerald McClellan, James Toney, Mike McCallum, Tommy Hearns, and Milt McCoy in one sparring session in a 16-by-16 ring.
Wow.
That's a sparring. Yeah, that's a sparring.
16-by-16?
16-by-16. Oh. No more, maybe 16.5 by 17, you know? But that's it. One room, do or die. Everybody that came through the door at Cross Gym, the word was fresh meat. And that went from Lennox Lewis, Michael Mora. You know, it didn't matter who you was. When you come through that door, you was fresh meat. You had to prove yourself or get knocked out. That's the way it was in the Crown Gym.
Can you give us some insight on the Mike McCallum, Tommy Hearns sparring sessions, man? We've seen one on YouTube, and me and one of the other guys in one of the Facebook groups go back and forth about Mike McCallum and Tommy Hearns all the time at 154.
I'm never about McCallum spar. But I think they sparred one time in my presence.
Okay.
You know, and it was mostly a boxing match. It was a chess match. You know, they didn't bang out because they both were too smart to get involved with that. They both knew that they both knew they could go to sleep at any time.
Bernard was about to say something. Go ahead, Bernard.
I was about to mention the Tommy Hearns, Muhammad Ali sparring match. Was that in the Crunk Gym? The video that we seen online?
He fought Muhammad Ali at Muhammad Ali's camp.
Okay.
It was at Muhammad Ali's camp in Deer Lake.
Okay.
You know, but Ali wasn't trying to do nothing. You know, Tommy was much quicker. moving around, but Ali wasn't trying to do nothing. Ali was just having fun. Ali was that guy, you know. Ali loved people. He loved that.
Let's get your opinion on this, Uncle James. You've been around a lot of fighters in the game coming out of the Kronk. Who was the best one you ever seen come out of Kronk gym in your eyes? The best fighter to come out of the Kronk, the old Kronk.
I'd have to say Thomas Hearns, you know. But right behind him, I'd say, if I had to choose one right behind him, I'd say Jimmy Paul.
Mm-hmm.
I like Jimmy Paul. He was very technical, very good eyes, very slick movement, very crafty. He studied a lot. You know. He fought old school all the time. Jimmy Paul was very, very crafty with his movement, with his vision, with his reactions, and his actions.
All right, and they have rebuilt the Kronk gym. Do you have any involvement in the new Kronk?
No.
Okay.
This is the third Kronk gym now. They're on the third Kronk gym. This is the third one. I think Emmanuel's nephew started the third one.
Okay, so that's all. Is that all ran by his nephew? The new one that's here now, the third one.
He's the one that's training Stevenson right now.
Yeah. Okay. Sugar Hill, you know, that's who we're talking about.
Right.
Okay. All right, fellas, I guess we're going to let Uncle James go. Thank you for your time, man. It's always a pleasure talking to you. You always drop knowledge and wisdom on us, man. It's always a pleasure to have you on, you know, no matter what platform it's on.
Not a problem. I'm looking forward to one fight in particular that I think is a throwback fight, and that's the Julian Williams and Jamal.
Okay.
Jamal.
Will you be attending any of these fights, the upcoming fights, the Kovalev Wars, the Charlos Williams fights?
I'll probably be at the Kovalev fight, you know, because I'll be out that way. I'll probably attend the Kovalev fight, you know.
Okay.
But
yeah, I'll definitely be out there doing coverage for that, and I guess they got Lomachenko and Walters coming up the week after, so I'll be out there in Vegas. So hopefully we can link up and do some more talking, boxing talk.
That's a real barn burner.
Yeah.
You know, Lomachenko and Walters, that's a really, really good barn burner, you know. I can't pick a clear win in that fight. You know, if I had to lean one way or another, I'd go with Lomachenko, but that's not to say that Walters is a bad fighter. It's not to say that Walters won't be in that fight big time.
What do you think about a fighter that he's had a pretty long layoff though? Like he hasn't fought, I guess, since last December, and you know this is his first fight going against a Lomachenko type. Do you think that's too much for the ask of a fighter? You know, coming off of that kind of a layoff to go against somebody of that caliber of Lomachenko?
That it varies. Sometimes it affects the fighter, and then there are times that it won't affect the fighter. You know, it varies. I think that Walters will be affected to some degree leading into this fight. I think he'll be affected for the layoff. But if he gets the proper spawn, who knows? He can get oiled up and be ready to fight.
Yeah.
But Lomachenko is a hard guy to deal with. He's on the upswing. I mean, he's really feeling his Cheerios right now. I mean, this kid is really feeling his Cheerios. He hasn't even had 10 fights yet. He hasn't had 10 fights yet. And he's competing with the top guns of whatever division that he's in. I'm just anxious to see the fight. I'm just anxious to see that there. Jamal Charlo versus Julian Williams. I'm anxious to see that. Those are two fights I'm really anxious to see. how they
do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite heading into that Charlo Williams fight right now at the moment?
Oh my goodness, man! I just want to sit back and observe. You know, I expect to see some real old school talent going into this fight. You know, they fight like old schoolers. I don't have a favorite going to that fight. It's just a close fight. Whichever way you look at it, it's a close fight. It's a tough fight. You know, it's a really tough fight. And I think that they will fight. I don't think that's going to be a boxing match. I think they're going to get right into it, starting out from the first round. I think they're going to get right into it. A tough battles from two tough fighters. Like I said, they're a throwback to the old days. I expect a good fight.
And it's definitely a fight we've all been waiting on for a while, man. So glad it's finally here among us. So we getting it this year, to close out the year, man. I'm glad we're definitely getting it. Fellas, you guys got anything else you want to chime in?
No, hey, Uncle James, I want to thank you for calling, man. I appreciate you always willing to help and give some knowledge, and I really appreciate it, Uncle James.
We love boxing. That's why we're here, man. We love boxing. That's why we're here, you know, to contribute to the sport of boxing. If everybody did their part, boxing would be better off in America. But, you know, you got these kind of guys that come in 2 years ago, work with two amateurs, and then they think that they're professional trainers, and they're making professional mistakes. No, correction. They come into the sport, and they're making amateurish mistakes and professional rank. So I'm glad to do it, you know. You guys have a good evening, man.
I really appreciate you, Uncle James. You have a good one, man.
You too. Yes, yep.
All right, fellas, we're going to move back into our topics. We still had to close out the Pacquiao card. We did Usyk undercard fight for the WBO flyweight title. Just to close out on that one, it's looking like he has a mandatory fight. That was actually the fight that was, or the belt that was vacated by Juan Francisco Estrada. But Shamig's mandatory would actually be Donnie Nietes. So he's got some things coming his way. That's actually an excellent fight right there. I pick Nietes off the top of the dome. I pick Nietes to win that fight. If it gets made, who knows how long it'll take. But Shamig has some big problems coming his way. Nietes is no joke. So we'll move into the other two fights, or the other fight that was on the lineup, which was Nonito Donaire against Jesse Magdaleno, defending his title as well, bantamweight title. He came up short in his defense, and Jesse Magdaleno won on the cards. Let me go ahead and start off with Bo. What was your thoughts on that fight, man, and the decision?
Man, that was a tough fight. But the fact that whether people want to say that they felt Nonito got robbed or not, I'm not going to go into deep detail. But I'm going to say this: the fact that I can't pronounce the guy's name, Malineo, or what's his name again? The guy down there, how you pronounce his name?
Magdaleno.
Yeah, Magdaleno. The fact that Magdaleno was in a position to even win that fight should definitely tell you how far down Nonito Donaire has fallen. And that's just so Nonito Donaire, what we're finding out is he's a guy who enjoys having advantages at a lower weight class, being taller, bigger, stronger, and he never really worked on his skill set. He's kind of like 122-pound Roy Jones. He had these advantages, and he never worked on the skill set, and now those advantages are not advantages anymore, and we're seeing that maybe he just wasn't as skillful as we thought he was. He just had, he just able to overpower people, and he was bigger. But the fact that guy was in a position to even even win that fight. It just goes to show you just how far Nonito Donaire has fallen. Just like his last fight, he came out looking impressive, but then as the fight went on and wore down, you know, he started doing less and less and less, which allowed his opponents to do more and more and more. So, I mean, at the end of the day, Nonito Donaire may get a rematch, but we are clearly seeing, and I really hate to see this, but we are clearly seeing a fighter who is probably reaching the end of this, the end of the line as far as his career in the spotlight. And I take nothing away from Donaire. When he was fighting, he was one of the top guys, but, you know, I mean, it's boxing. It is what it is, but I can't express the fact that, again, this is a dude that many people don't even know who the guy is he fought. You probably can't name nobody this dude he fought his fault. And he was in a position to beat you? That's unheard of. When you're talking, that's really unheard of if you're talking about a fighter of no Donaire's magnitude of what he used to be. So that's my take on it.
And let me just give credit to Jesse Magdalena's trainer, Manuel Robles. He's starting to build a nice stable. He's got Oscar Valdez, the champ, and now Jesse Magdaleno.
Well, he was telling him Magdaleno trainer was telling him some very good things in the corner. And I was like, he kept him confident. Like, listen, just keep doing what you're doing. It's going to work. Keep doing what you. He was telling some really good things in the corner, and I like it.
Robles is definitely a nice up and coming trainer, man. He's got some nice guys in his stable that's coming up that are, doing their things and coming up through the ranks, and 2 champs already. Also, Joe Diaz schooled Magdaleno as well prior to him switching to Robles. But, he got his first title under Robles. Let me go ahead and pass it over to the Big Cool on this one. What are your thoughts on Donaire right now, man? Is this the last, have we seen the most we going to see of him? A lot of us are expecting a potential rematch with Rigo, Is this the last we've seen of him on this caliber?
I mean, I agree with what both said. Maybe it was just all power. And I don't want to really say that for 100% certainty, but he was much bigger than a lot of guys he fought early on in his career. Vic Darchinyan, just to name somebody. And once his skills or people that fought him kind of wasn't really scared of that power, he slowly showing cracks in his armor. And I thought he was going to win this fight just off his size alone. I thought he was much bigger than Jesse, but that wasn't to be. Jesse fought a great fight. He was aggressive. He forced the action. He hurt Nonito a few times in that fight. And Nonito, he always, from the moment he fought Rigo, you could just tell once things don't go his way, he kind of mentally falls apart. He kind of mentally checks out. And that's what he did in this fight to a certain degree. I mean, it was a good fight. It was a close fight, but I think the right guy won. And I do think that we're done seeing him. At least we should be done seeing him in the ring against upper echelon fighters, because I think he's going to get himself hurt. He doesn't have the defense. He doesn't have the confidence, in my opinion, to really go in there and believe in himself and winning these fights against these guys. And I hope he don't fight Rigo, because Rigo going to do something worse than he did in the first fight. I think Rigo will stop him. But he struggled in the fight with Darchinyan in the rematch where he was supposed to, he eventually stopped him, but that was a fight he was hurt. And, right there let you know that he wasn't back from the first Rigo defeat. So I don't think he's that guy. And I think that his best days are way past him, but he may still continue to fight just because he loves it.
I had said on our previous show, basically, he went life and death to even get that title, against a really a nobody, he definitely was past his prime, even coming into this fight. And, he's had two KO victories coming in against two, just regular opponents,
But that one, but the one of them was against the dude that defeated Chris John, who was a good fighter. What's his name? We had talked about it on the last show. What's the guy? It was called due to a headbutt or a cut or something. What's the guy's name, man? He beat Chris John for the title. I think it was. He offered dude. Damn. That fight was
not Cesar Juarez.
I think it was, man.
Was it?
I'm not for sure.
He did Chudinov for the title.
You remember the dude? It was a close fight. I think in the 5th round it was called. The dude suffered a cut, and he couldn't continue to ref, or the doctor determined it was a bad cut or something.
Be that, because that's a TKO victory right there.
Whatever it was, that's a fluky win. I mean, it was just off a bad cut, but they tell you right there, he wasn't. I mean, he didn't deserve that victory. I know why he got it, but I think his best days are behind him, man. And he should go and retire, move on. He had a good career. He may be a Hall of Famer someday. But yeah,
we'll go on to the Oscar Valdez fight against. I want to say Hiroshige Osawa, I believe his name is. What did you guys take out of this fight? Valdez knockout victory against a Japanese fighter. What do you guys say from Valdez at the 126 division, man? Another guy trained by Manuel Robles as well. I'll start off with Bo on this one.
It was a good win. It was a good victory. I just didn't like what I saw at Oscar Valdez in this fight. And particularly, he kind of struggled a little bit where he probably shouldn't have struggled. It kind of seemed like he was thinking too much and maybe even trying to do too much. Maybe, in this fight. It wasn't one of his best performances, and because I got really high hopes for Oscar Valdez. I like him in this division and in this fight. So he didn't, he didn't get a chance to shine like maybe he could have for everybody to see. I mean, but still, it's a good victory. He definitely showed that, if it gets a little tough, then, the boy got some heart. He definitely showed us that. The boy got some heart. You can definitely see the skill, so he has a good upside. I just didn't like what I saw with some of the things he was struggling with, some of the things he was getting caught with. He actually was getting hit. Like, I mean, there was a point where, it's like dude could miss with the jab. And I'm like, Oscar, come on, man. You know better than this. Come on, man. So, it wasn't his sharpest night. Maybe he was nervous. But sometimes in boxing, you know what, you just got to win a little good at your next fight. But, hopefully we see better things from him because, like I said, he got a lot of good upside, but he just seemed to struggle a little bit more than what I expected him to. Or maybe I'm just being too harsh on the guy.
All right. Bernard or Big Cool, did you guys get this fight?
I got something to say. I'm going to disagree with my partner on this one here. I felt Oscar Valdez dictated that fight through all 7 rounds. Now, the only part I didn't like is when he went southpaw. I want to say if it was either the 5th or the 6th round, but he kind of was just like he was taking somewhat of possibly a little break. So he was just trying out his southpaw stance and possibly showing us that he got other things in his repertoire when it comes to his other styles he could fight with. But I feel Oscar Valdez stuck to his game plan with the jab, with the consistent body work to Osawa. He kept attacking his body, definitely with that left hook to the body. He stayed on it. Yeah. And I felt that when he knocked him down, when he knocked Osawa down the first time, he had the chance to finish him off, but I got to give Osawa his props. He stayed in that fight until the 7th round, until the referee called it. But other than that, I felt he stuck to his game plan. Other than the thing I didn't like, he kind of went southpaw for a minute, which he didn't really need to. He should have stuck to it. But I see what he was trying to do, trying to show a little he had something else in his game. But it really needed to. It was a clear-cut victory. He should just got rid of it. Got Osawa out of there quickly. But I like the victory, though.
But see, that's what I mean by when you say he was flipping southpaw. That's what I mean by it looked like he was trying to do too much and thinking too much. Because the Oscar Valdez I saw previously, the one that won the title, that dude was marvelous. I liked that guy. That's what I'm saying. So it just seems like he might have been. I mean, I could be being too harsh on him. But like you said, him switching southpaw, it seemed like he was just thinking too much and trying to do too much.
All right, it'd be cool. I'll pass it to you, man. What do you think of his prospects at 126? You know, I'll just say, like, I've already gone on record on our show, you know, saying, you know, I think him and Gary Russell are ultimately the best two guys at 126, even, you know, above Frampton and Selby. At the end of the day, that's just my opinion. Big Cool, what are your thoughts on Valdez's prospects at 126 and on this fight and his performance over the past weekend?
I mean, it wasn't as good as the one against Gradovic, but, I mean, it was still a very good performance. He did what he was supposed to do. He didn't play with the guy. He got him out of there. He kind of loaded up on some shots. This victory didn't come as natural to him as, you know, he wasn't as patient. He was definitely trying to get the guy out of there. And you could tell he loaded up on left hooks, right hands, and he's definitely more assertive instead of, you know, in this fight with Gradovic, he just broke him down and the KO came. But the sky's the limit. I agree with you. Him and Gary Russell are the best guys in that division. But he has flaws that can be exposed and will be exposed to a certain degree when he steps up. But that's any fighter that fights the top guys in their division. So, I mean, he's going to keep improving. I like his explosiveness, his power, his boxing ability. You know, he just needs to, you know, fine-tune some things, and he'll be all right. But he's young, and we know Top Rank is going to bring him along at a nice, decent pace. And then when he's ready to really step up, they're going to drop him in there against one of the best guys in the division. So, you know, he's young. There's no need to rush him. But he definitely has some things he can improve on. But very good young fighter that I think will be a superstar.
All right. With that, we're going to go on into our next topic, man. We're going to dive into this WBA heavyweight situation we got going on, man. It's something we were supposed to touch on last week, but time constraints, we didn't get to touch on it. So we're going to get on it now, man. The WBA heavyweight situation just got a little bit more cloudy. You know, we had 2 fights announced, basically. The WBA signed off on their super title fight between Anthony Joshua and Klitschko, Vladimir Klitschko. They approved the fight for the super title. And for the regular title, they have they announced Lucas Browne versus Shannon Briggs. Man, yeah, it's just a lot to go into. So we go ahead and get it started off. I know Bo got some insight on this. So I'll start off with him just on his thoughts. His boy was actually one of the people involved in this for as a kendo, as far as having his say in the WBA tournament, which is, I guess, now not going on. I don't know what the status is of that now with these 2 fights being announced, or even Luis Ortiz's interim status. With that said, I'll go ahead and pass it on to Bo.
Hey, before you pass it on to Bo, Bo, I got something to say. As for the interest status, I'll speak on that part.
Okay.
Bernard, go ahead, B.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead, Bernard.
No, go ahead. No, I want to hear it. Go ahead, man. I'll allow it. You know, as the king of this station, I'll allow it.
Hey, chill out.
Oh, here we go with that shit. Media King has been massacred. You know.
But no, I do want to hear it though. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, because it just 2 days ago, David Hayes and Alexander Ustinov are possibly fighting for the WBA interim heavyweight title. So that's a 3rd fight with the WBA, which I thought they would be trying to consolidate their belts. Now you're pretty much putting 3 belts out there again. So that's all I wanted to just let y'all know what was going on.
Wait. So you're saying Ustinov is fighting David Hayes for the WBA interim title?
Could fight.
David Hayes or Char, or some guy named Char, I believe, right? Either one.
Manuel Char, okay.
Yeah, yeah, that too. That's also because of the collapse negotiation with Luis Ortiz. So, yeah. So yeah, those are the two names.
So,
yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's a crazy wrinkle right there.
I'll send you the
wow.
article right now. I'll send you the article right now.
Okay, go ahead, Bo, man. So now that we got that added wrinkle in there.
I was just going to mention that. My co-partner just beat me. I was going to mention that you got U.O.E.N.O fighting for a WBA interim championship. So now we know that Luis Ortiz, the reason why he's not even involved in the circle of what's going on is because he's not even interim champion anymore. Apparently, he got stripped during that little. And
I haven't heard any of announcement or that from the WBA, but I'll definitely be looking into that after the show. Wow, go ahead.
Right, yeah. No, I covered it in the Truth and Facts little shoot that me and Bernard do. I covered that. I talked about that because, like you said, that was something that a lot of people totally unaware of, that he wasn't the interim champion anymore. We was thinking he was still the interim champion. So it goes into play what we was talking about, and shout out to 2K because they covered this on the Gods of Boxing, the fuckery that's going on with the WBA. You know, there's some serious fuckery going on there, and the odd man out right now is Luis Ortiz. So now it's a matter of, okay, what direction are you going? But listen, the Lucas Browne Shannon Briggs fight, you can't really say you don't like the fight. I'm happy for Shannon Briggs because he's finally getting his just due. David Hay, jerked him over, so he's finally getting his just due. He's finally getting a shot at the title. Okay, they didn't know what to do with Lucas Browne. They punish him, maybe not punish him, light touch punishment, or whatever you want to call it. Now he's back in a position to fighting for a regular title, and they finagled somehow their way to get the super title in the fight against Joshua. Now, I don't have a problem with it because Klitschko should be able to fight for his belt since he had a clause. But the thing is, they're making this unification fight, and some are complaining that, well, how is Joshua in the unification fight when he wasn't even in the WBA ranking?
Exactly.
So, you know what I'm saying? So, dude, this is, although I like these fights, but you can't help but to look at this fuckery and be like, what in the hell is going on? Because, again, Ustinov is fighting either David Hay or Char for the interim championship for a belt that Luis Ortiz is just completely thrown out the mixer. And even if you want to say, the situation that happened with him, Ustinov, whatever, we still don't know why was he stripped of the title. Like there's no excuses and no reasoning, nothing in depth of why he stripped of the title.
Why Ustinov been taught? Yeah, they're saying Ustinov
didn't want to take the fucking drug test.
Yeah.
Ustinov didn't want to take a fucking drug test. So, don't get me wrong. Again, I like these fights, but you can't help but notice the glaring fuckery that's going on with the WBA as of late when it concerns this heavyweight division. And they're the only ones. If you go and look up, the Champions division, they're the only ones that got two champions in their ranking systems. They got the regular, the super, and the regular. They're the only fucking ones with that right now. So, you say you want to consolidate belts, make fights in place to consolidate these belts, and then instead of making a fight that should be made and giving the guys a shot that should be given, which is Luis Ortiz, you guys pick two contenders. You pick the guy in Shannon Briggs. Normally, when you fighting for a belt, it's number one versus number two. I don't know what the fuck this is that they did. And, hey, I like the matchups, but I can't help but to look at this and be like, man, this is complete fuckery. And thanks to my partner for bringing that up because I actually forgot about that. I'm glad he brought that into light.
All right. I'll go ahead and pass it back over to Bernard to see if he has anything else to add, to the topic. Go ahead, man.
I'm down for the fuckery. So I'm going to sit here and say this. Now, they would have really made it. See, the WA really wanted to really be on the fucking. They should have probably forced the David Hayes versus Shannon Briggs fight, or possibly a Klitschko versus Briggs fight. I would have been down for that, but yeah, this is pure fuckery. I agree with both, but I think it's really just a waste of time too. You wasting possibly 6 fighters, three potential fighters and 6 fighters. You could have just did possibly an 8-man tournament or a 4-man tournament. It did with a one title again. Whoever it had, what's the word? The losers. Whoever went to that would get the interim belt or whatever. Like they did something like that if you weren't going to go that route. But other than that, it's pure fuckery. I don't have anything else to say about it.
All right, that'd be cool.
You know, this is why I miss that ugly light skin nigga.
I mean, Shannon Briggs finally getting a title shot after, chasing down these guys. I was hoping him and David Haye fight, but, I guess he's going to fight Browne. It should be a good fight. I don't know how much Shannon has left, but Browne is confident of winning, so we'll see. As far as David Haye, man, I don't know what's up with him. He said he's going to be fighting such and such each week, and the fight never materializes. I guess he will fight Evander, and I expect him to win that fight if that fight does come to fruition. So, it's crazy, but really none of these guys deserve a title shot. But with the rankings, how they set up and how corrupt these sanctioned bodies can be, they get it. So, I expect Haye to win his fight, and the Browne Briggs fight is a toss-up. But I lean toward Browne in that fight, a little younger, a little fresher. So that's my thoughts on the whole situation.
Man,
hold on, I got a weird theory. And maybe y'all might agree with this. But since Ortiz has got the strip of that interim title, like, he has a new promoter in Eddie Hurd. Is it a possible chance that once Ortiz wins whatever bout he has, that he has a potential chance of getting the shot either at the WBA interim, the WBA heavyweight, or the WBA super heavyweight? That's the question I want to propose to y'all, because I can see that theory coming up.
Well, you already know it's pretty much in play with him being with Matchroom, that he could fight Joshua, at any given time now. That's like an easy fight to make. Being with it, both of them signed with Eddie Hearn. Ortiz is no longer, he's not exclusively signed with any network or anything, since he's not with Golden Boy or anything. So, it's an easy fight to make. As well with Deontay Wilder, So I would expect to see something like that possibly in 2017, even if he is stripped or supposedly stripped of his interim status. I also want to get my take on just the WBA situation. When it comes to the heavyweight division, their consolidation attempts or whatever they've been doing has been fucking whack. This is just another incident in their demonstration of all that. I don't even agree with the Joshua Klitschko fight. I'm kind of against it. Klitschko had a rematch clause with Fury. Fury's situation is the situation. So other than that, I feel it should be a wrap as far as Klitschko getting a WBA title shot. When you lose, you go down in the rankings and you got to work your way back up. Albeit the circumstances that he had a rematch clause with Tyson Fury, who's no longer capable of defending that. So I think that shit should go out the window as far as Klitschko, being able to fight for that, super WBA title based on that. That's just my opinion on it. Joshua being approved to fight for the WBA super title. Once again, he wasn't even in their rankings like that to be fighting for the belt. I understand it's a super fight that can be made, but I'm completely against it. I don't agree with it, but just because it's a good fight for the heavyweight division, I'll say fuck it. Lucas Browne, Shannon Briggs, it'll be entertaining. But once again, I don't agree with it because how the ranking systems are supposed to work. And once again, the whole Ortiz situation, U.O.E.N.O, and as well as O.E.N.O, Perez O.E.N.O, where they're
wait. No. let's stick to those names that we mentioned now. Let's not be bringing people in the conversation.
Oh, man. But, yeah. Because, he was guaranteed his rematch or whatever due to the situation or whatever. And, just that whole thing right there, U.O.E.N.O getting a title, possibly an interim title shot against Char or David Hay, it's just even more confusing with the WBA right now, especially when it comes to that division. So I don't agree with how they tried to handle the circumstance. Like, it just made it more cloudy and murky. Like, it didn't improve on anything, and they haven't been real public as far as the other stuff. As far as why Ortiz was stripped of his title. So I'm definitely going to be paying attention to this one and be doing more research on it. I guess, Bernard, you got something else you wanted to say on this one before we moved on to our next topic?
No, that's the only question. I mean, if anybody else wanted to speak on that theory I had proposed. But other than that.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay. Did you guys want to answer that one as far as Ortiz possibly fighting, for the WBA super title later on, or for another belt, since he signed with Matchroom? Bo, be cool. Either y'all want to address that one?
Repeat that again, man.
Ortiz possibly fighting for another title later in the year, since he signed with Matchroom Boxing, possibly against a Joshua or Wilder. Is that something you guys see happening in 2017 for Ortiz?
I definitely would like to see that. I think he's long due. I mean, he was the interim WBA champion a while ago before he popped for positive for steroids. But I mean, he arguably the best heavyweight right now. He definitely deserves a shot and next year against either Wilder or Joshua or whoever it is that's a champion. But you got to take care of business against Scott. We're about to talk about that later. But yeah, I definitely would like to see him versus Wilder or Joshua sometime next year.
All right. I guess we'll go ahead and go into our next topic. Richard Schaefer just made a pretty huge signing, or one big signing to his new promotional roster. Since making his new promotional banner, which will be debuting on the chart with the Charlotte Williams card. He signed U.S. Olympian Carlos Balderas, who was basically in talks with Top Rank and Golden Boy already. But Schaefer managed to pull the deal with Carlos Balderas, who was considered one of the more promising Olympians, but didn't fare too well out there in the Olympics this past summer. Anyways, with that said, we'll make this a quick topic just to go through it. Big Cool, what are your thoughts on Schaefer, having an impact signing like this with an Olympian, this early on in the game and, just now starting his promotional banner off?
That shows the power and the belief in Richard Schaefer that Carlos has in him. I mean, Carlos is a talented fighter. He's 5'9", got quick hands, very aggressive offensively. I mean, he's 21 years old, so he has a lot of skills, a lot of talent. And I think him going with Richard Schaefer is going to bode well for his career. He's going to be brought along carefully, and he's going to have plenty of opportunities to prove himself once he gets to that point, from prospect to contender to champion. So I think it was a good move, a good first signing by Richard Schaefer, who also signed his brother, Jose, as well. So I think Richard Schaefer is going to be the powerhouse he was when he was with Golden Boy. And now he's the head honcho of his own promotional company. Is going to bode well because we all know that he can make the fights happen. People love to work with Richard Schaefer. That's how that's why Al Heyman constantly does business with him and did business with him when he was at Golden Boy. So I think that is a good signing, and I think that, Carlos has a bright future.
All
right, I'll go ahead and pass it on to Bo on this one. What's your thoughts of this impact signing from Schaefer this early on in the game? Balderas, national champion, amateur, Olympian, definitely has high prospects at the pro level. What are your thoughts on this signing by Schaefer?
I thought this was an excellent signing by Richard Schaefer. Let's one thing Big Cool forgot to mention is Richard Schaefer has an eye for talent. He does. Even if you look at the guys that used to fight at Golden Boy, Richard, the Thurman, Browners, and all of them, and Garcia, Richard Schaefer has an eye for talent, and he's a known, we talk about when it comes to Rock Nation, they're a new promotion company, but Richard Schaefer is a known guy, at least within that business. So this is not like somebody who is first day at school. He's known, in the industry throughout the boxing business. So if you're trying to get a good fight, he knows how to bring guys along the right way. He knows how to, things that can help their career and put them in good position. So I like this signing, like you said, good young talent, good potential, and something to build around. Like when you get a young talent like that, that's something to build around that's pretty good. That's the reason why Bernard's favorite fighter, Andre Ward, with Virgil Hunter as a trainer. When you got Andre Ward in your stable and you're a trainer, that's something to build around. So I like this for Richard Schaefer. I really do.
All right. The Balderas brothers are expected to make their pro debuts in February, so we'll be keeping our eyes out on them as well as Richard Schaefer's up-and-coming promotional banner. Like previously mentioned, they'll be Richard Schaefer will be promoting the Jamal Charlo and J-Rock Williams fight coming up in December. So that'll be his first card in affiliation with PBC and Al Heyman. And, with that said, we'll go on into our division spotlight this week, which is the 147-pound welterweight division. Always a key highlight note division in the sport, man. I'll go ahead and start with Big Cool, I guess. What's your take on as far as some of your guys that you like in the division, the talent, what you see happening as far as who's the best top talent in the division?
I think Errol Spence, at the end of the day, could prove to be the best welterweight right now. I don't know if Kell Brook is going to come back to 147, but I would put him up there, followed by Thurman, Porter, Garcia. There's a lot of talent in this division. And we finally starting to see them fight each other. We had Porter, Thurman this year. We had Porter, Brook a few years ago. We're going to get Thurman, Garcia, assuming Garcia makes it to his fight this weekend. And, Spence is in the, he's waiting on his shot. You still have Algeria, a guy who can, get a prospect ready for that next level. He's still a guy that can give you a run for your money. You got Adrian Browne, who is going to fight Adrian Gardenos in February. I mean, you still got Tim Bradley. There's a lot of talent, man. But I really like Errol Spence as the future. And I really like Brook if he can come back and make the weight. But the top guys right now, like I said, Spence, Thurman, Porter, and they finally starting to fight each other. So we're really going to see who's the top dog in the near future. So deep division, division.
Let me just give a rundown of the champions real fast before I pass it on to our guys from the Truth and Facts About Boxing on this one. WBC champion Danny Garcia, who will be defending his title not even the title defense, actually, I don't think. I'll double check that one. But he'll be fighting this weekend in the tune-up for Keith Thurman in March. Next year, WBA title now belongs to Manny Pacquiao, who defeated Jessie Vargas over the weekend. We also got the IBF champion currently is Kell Brook, who's up in the air as far as his status. I think he'll come back to 147 for a fight with Amir Khan, but nobody else other than that, or Pacquiao maybe. You know, he's looking for the money fights apparently from what I've been seeing in the headlines from him lately. It's all big money fights or nothing. So I don't see him fighting anybody at 147 other than Pacquiao or Amir Khan. If he does, you know, when he does come back, you know, after having the surgery or whatever. And also we have WBA champion Keith Thurman. I'll go ahead and pass it on to Bernard. Anybody you like in the division? What's your thoughts on who's actually the best in the division at the end of the day?
Right now, to me, the best person in the division is Keith Thurman. To me, I understand Earl Spencer to me is one of the top contenders, up and rising contenders in the welterweight division. I say Keith Thurman because he took on Sean Porter, and to me, fighter be the candidate. In that fight, he went against another top contender, and he beat him. To me, it was a unanimous decision. The decision was right. Danny Garcia, I mean, I feel like he got put up in the division. He beat Paulie in his first fight in the division. If I'm correct, I think he got his second fight. He got a title shot. He got the shot for the vacant WBC title against Robert Guerrero. He did good in that fight. He did good. I thought I had Robert Guerrero. I wanted Robert Guerrero to win that fight, but Danny Garcia showed me something by, you know, with his talent and everything. He came back and won. But I thought he would potentially go on and take on another top contender. I would have said Berto. Berto, in my opinion, is possibly a sleeper because in his last 3 fights, one of them he lost to Mayweather by decision, but the other 2, the one before and the one after, ended in knockouts. So I'm thinking Berto may have been rejuvenated lately, so that's a sleeper in my opinion. There's another person I'm looking at is Felix Diaz. He beat a prospect in Sammy Vasquez. I was kind of disappointed because I was looking forward to possibly seeing Sammy Vasquez in an Earl Spence fight, but we got the Diaz fight, and I'm still thinking that Sammy Vasquez could possibly. Hopefully, I want to see him back in the mix as a prospect, and hopefully he could get confidence and get back on a winning streak. Lamar Peterson, and I'm speaking on this not just because I'm a fan of him, but he hasn't had a solid fight at 147 yet. But I can't wait to see him possibly come up in this division, see what he's going to do against some of the other welterweights as well. And I think last but not least, Browne is not going to be in the division. He's moving back to 140. He's already stated that, so he's getting ready to fight 140. Get that one fight against Granadas and hopefully go against Ricky Burns. Another person who possibly going to be looking in the division is Omar Figueroa, who nobody saying anything. I'm not saying his style could get him a championship. But
there's not much to say about him.
No. Hey, no. I'm not saying it. I just put out a name. That's all. I'm not saying he's going to be the champion. This is what I said. I don't think his style is going to get him a championship, but he's up in there, you know what I'm saying? He might cause a couple of trouble with some guys who can't take an aggressive fight. That's all.
All right, I definitely agree with your call on Felix Diaz. He's a force to be reckoned with, that 140 or 147 either or, man. I want to see him in there against somebody soon, though. Diaz is definitely one of the guys I'm pulling for as far as deserving a shot. You know, I think he got robbed against Lamont Peterson. He beat an up-and-comer and our top prospect and was the underdog against Sammy Vasquez going into their fight, and he completely dominated him. And, you know, the fight ended in stoppage. So Diaz is definitely somebody I want to see in there against the top guys. He's been calling out the likes of Browne, Terrence Crawford, you know, even the top guys at 147. So, yeah, he definitely deserves his due, though. He's definitely one of the avoided guys in those two divisions.
I'll pass it over to Bo, to complete this one off. What's your thoughts on the 147 division?
147 division is always the hottest division, but I disagree with you guys about the top fighter. The top fighter right now is Manny Pacquiao. He's back, and I know.
Hey, put him on the line right now.
Wait, God damn it, wait. Bite your tongue for a second. Let the old man talk. All right. Yeah, I understand he did just beat Jessie Vargas, but you still have to look at the fact that it is Manny Pacquiao we talking about. He still has a skill set. He's still at a high level. He still can show us he can fight at a high level. So now that he's back and now that he won the title, you have to throw him in that mix because he has a better resume than all these dudes right now we talking about. So you got to throw him in that mix. Don't forget about Panamares. Okay, Panamares is another dude that's in that 147-pound mix. He's one of the guys that didn't want to fight Earl Spence. Also, don't forget Jeff Horn.
Yeah.
Jeff Horn is
but
an IBF.
All these dudes dug Errol Spence for the damn mandatory defense. So I'm like, man, fuck all of them at the end of the day. As far as it comes to those two.
Jeff Horn has a fight coming up, and depending on what Kell Brooks does, Errol Spence and Jeff Horn is set to fight. The IBF has informed Kell Brooks that he has because remember he actually had extension.
Yeah, but you wouldn't fight the title eliminator, but you willing to fight now that the belt's on the line. Like that's still some sucker
because
shit.
That's more money.
That's just some sucker shit, man. That's what it is. At the end of the day, man, I don't want to hear that shit.
That's a what?
Sucker shit, man. They don't deserve to be fight. They don't deserve to even still have their rankings where they are in the IBF as far as I'm concerned for ducking the title eliminator. That's just where I stand. Boone didn't. Number 6, number 7 fucking stepped up and took it. These motherfuckers ducking the shit.
Well,
they get the damn
Mark Peterson, Sammy Vasquez, Panamarev.
Jeff Horn, none of these dudes wanted it in the title eliminator, but they get to fight for the title. I'm not with that shit at all. But, I definitely understand you, mentioning their names. They still in their same rankings.
Right. I mean, these are still players in the game. Also, Timothy Bradley, whatever move he decides to do. And trust me, that was not easy to even say that fucking name. But, whatever, whatever he decides to do. So, 147 is still hot because wherever you look, whatever title organization you look, there is some fights right there that can be made, that can be explosive. But as far as the top guys, you got to throw Pacquiao in there. He's back. He won the title. And I just want Earl Spence to win the title so people can stop this bullshit talk about what has he done, who he done. He can't do shit because won't nobody get in there with him for him to do shit. And I let me just say this. This is what I hate about this sport. Is everybody will bitch and moan about guys that want to fight somebody, but when a guy does say he want to fight somebody and he's a threat, you want to tell me what he ain't fucking done. Okay, you can't do shit until you put in a position to do something. And if, like we just said, Horn, Panamarev, Peterson, all these dudes didn't fight him, then what the fuck is Earl Spence supposed to do? How can he get something if motherfuckers don't want to fight him? If Manny Pacquiao thought he could beat Earl Spence, do you not think that they would be fighting Earl Spence? Yes.
Yep.
So there it is, man.
Hey, I got a potential thing we have not mentioned though. Amir Khan. We haven't mentioned.
Anyway, so what was you saying? What was you saying there? Next topic. What was you saying?
No. I'm not saying Amir Khan is the top guy, but there is a potential fight I would like to see. And I hear him say his name. I would like to see Amir Khan versus Timothy Bradley. For some reason, I would like to see that fight.
That's actually not a bad matchup. That's actually because Timothy Bradley don't hit hard enough to hurt Amir Khan, so it would be more of a boxing match.
I don't know. Yeah. You never know with Amir Khan's chin, though. Bradley might be able to muster up something. Yes. You never know. Let's go ahead.
Afterwards, I guess he can take him out to fucking dinner.
Yeah, well, let's go on into our next topic, man. That was definitely a good call, though. That would be a good matchup at 147. we got a lot of good fights this weekend, man. It's actually it's a good fight weekend. You know, last weekend we had the pay-per-view. This weekend we got 2 solid fight cards, one in the States, one in the UK. We're going to start off with the one on our side in the U.S. You know, we got Danny Garcia card, his tune-up fight for Keith Thurman. He'll be fighting Jessie Vargas. On the undercard, we got Jarrett Hurd fighting JoJo Dan. And Javier Fortuna versus Omar Douglas. Let me get you guys' thoughts on those fights, winners, just everything about it, man.
That is not a title fight, by the way. I just looked at that's not a title fight.
That's what I was thinking. So I'll go ahead and pass this one over to you to start off then, Bo.
Oh, okay. I'm not even going to talk about the Danny Garcia Vargas fight.
I don't blame you.
I don't. You know, I just maintain some kind of. I just maintain some kind of gratefulness that at least he's fighting something. So, and that's as far as I'm gonna go with that. The next fight you got Javier Fortuna, which you know we haven't seen him in a minute. We haven't seen Javier Fortuna, you know, in a while. So it'll be good to see him back. I like the fight with Javier Fortuna and the guy he's fighting, but for me we'll be able to see what this Javier Fortuna is. Exactly what does he have left. We all know he suffered a KO by Jesse Sosa, you know, and he was undefeated. So at the time him getting knocked out, we will see where his, you know, we saw him bounce back from that. He's fighting this guy, Douglas. Douglas is another undefeated fighter, so we saw him bounce back from that by fighting 2 undefeated fighters, one in the Dominican Republic. Now he's fighting in Philly. So it'll be good to see where his mindset is, and this is good for him to get him back in that mix. So, I mean, I like the fight. I favor Fortuna in this fight, but I want to see where his mental state of mind is, and hopefully we'll see in this Douglas fight where he's tested. The other fight is Jarrett Hurd, and who is he fighting?
JoJo Dan.
Yeah, I like Jarrett Hurd in this fight. Don't sleep on JoJo Dan, although we do know that, you know, JoJo Dan fought Kell Brooks and, you know, the ups and downs of JoJo Dan's career. Don't sleep on him. He's still a guy with some experience coming in there against a young, are we still considering Hurd a prospect or not? But I do like this fight for Hurd. It's a good step up for him. I see him doing something good, and I see Dan with the experience coming in that may be good for Hurd, but I favor Hurd in this fight also. I mean, the boy has awesome talent, and one thing about JoJo Dan that we know and understand, if you can, and I think Big Cool mentioned earlier, you know, you can, when we talk about somebody, you can definitely crack his mental state. You can definitely crack JoJo Dan's mental state. So, but those 2 fights are good fights on the undercard of something that's taking place this weekend.
All right, and I'll pass it on to Big Cool. Your thoughts on the card? I don't know if you want to address the Danny Garcia fight or not.
Danny, you got one job and one job only. Don't fuck up the fight with Keith Thurman. Now on to the undercard, man. I love Jarrett Hurd as a fighter. I mean, body work, boxing skills, power. He's young, strong, hungry. I think he stops JoJo Dan 26 in the 8th round, maybe even sooner. And Fortuna is going to be interesting to see how he bounces back, because he did suffer a devastating loss. He mentally broke down. He was tired, and Sosa just kept coming. And it'll be interesting to see if he's made some improvements. I hope he's settled down, because he's wild as hell in that ring. Takes too many chances. He's a defensive liability. I don't know if his punch resistance is going to be the same after taking such a devastating loss, but I think he should get the victory. But Douglas should have his moments. It should be a competitive fight, but I think Fortuna probably stops him late or gets a clear decision. But it's a good undercard with some young guys. They got some good spots in the future to hold in boxing. So, yeah, but Swift, just get the job done. Do what your name says. Get this fight over with. And so we can get that mega fight with Thurman set in stone. We definitely don't want to lose that fight because you're going in, suffer injury, or do some stupid. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a good undercard, and I'm looking forward to those fights.
All right, and Bernard?
Okay, I'm going to speak on Cherry Perker versus Vargas, since nobody else wants to speak on that fight.
Wow.
Wait a minute, hold on, wait a minute, man. Say that name again, please. I got to hear that one more time.
Swift Cherry Picker. That's what we going to call it. Swift Cherry Picker, man. I got Swift Cherry Picker for the win. Swift Cherry Picker for the win. I will go for the underdog and see how Hope Vargas upset because of the fuckery. I'm going to say that just because I'm tired of this bullshit of motherfuckers picking easy fighters. But as both always used to tell me, the cherry pick doesn't know he's a cherry pick. So I'm hoping something might happen. So I'm just saying that. I digress on that one. But on the Jarrett Hurd fight, I saw his fight on the undercard when he went against Oscar Molina. I have to say he's a very good fighter. I would like to see him more on his toes. He was very flat-footed in that fight. But I'm going to tell you something that I know. He stayed busy. He wasn't throwing a lot of power shots at times. At times he would touch you with little soft touches. Then boom, 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 he hit you with a hard combination. He hit Oscar Molina with a hard combination. So I would like to see how he's going to fight in this fight. What style he's going to bring? Is he going to be a pressure fighter? Is he going to hit it with the hard shot? Is he going to do the same thing he did with Oscar Molina? Or is he going to box him, use his distance, use his reach, use his height advantage possibly, and everything like that? I would like to see some different stuff from this prospect, Jarrett Hurd. That's my take on those two fights right there. As for Fortuna and whoever he's fighting, I'm going to just choose Fortuna.
Fortuna fighting, what's the dude's name?
Omar Douglas.
Okay, I'm going with Fortuna.
Omar Douglas is an undefeated fighter.
All right. My take on it is, I'm kind of in agreement with being cool with one of the Swiss, DSG. Get the shit done, don't blow it. You know what I'm saying? Set up the match the way it's supposed to be done. Quick knockout. You know what I'm saying? Don't risk any injury or none of that bullshit. Spence knocked him out, so you should be able to as well. With that said, I'll go on to the other undercards. Javier Fortuna, Omar Douglas. It's a good fight. Definitely a great fight coming back from Fortuna. You know, go against an undefeated fighter, fresh off a loss.
His second undefeated fighter too.
Yeah. So it's definitely not an easy easy task to do, but he's definitely trying to get himself back in a position to get a 130-pound title. After losing to Jason Sosa, who will also be fighting this weekend, but we'll touch on that one in a second. So I expect him to go in there, put on a good performance and win. I'm expecting the UD, possible late knockout, but I'll go with the UD. Douglas is a tough little cat. As far as Jarrett Hurd, that's one of my favorite guys up and coming at 154. It's such a deep division. As you guys know, that's my favorite division right now in boxing. Probably the most talented division with guys like Erickson, Lubin, and Hurd, you know, up-and-comers. I still would consider them prospects personally. This fight against JoJo Dan, this is probably his biggest weight he's fought at. You know, as you guys know, he's fought Kell Brook at 147 previously. So I'm not sure what the 154 move is about, if he was struggling to make 147, what kind of power he has at 154, you know, just things like that. But I think Swift is going to probably try and work him. Well, Jarrett Swift Hurd is going to try and work him on the inside like he did against Molina. I'm expecting him to break them down like that more than anything. But it should be interesting to see the approach he takes. Bernard makes a good point. It would be nice to see him show different things as far as boxing and using his reach on the outside, because he is a big 154 fighter.
and he is very lengthy in reach compared to JoJo Dan. So it should be interesting to see what he does. If he uses his range or if he gives up his height and fights on the inside like he tends to like to do. So we'll go ahead into the other card that's in the UK. Luis Ortiz making his Matchroom debut with Eddie Hearn in the UK.
Viva la
Malik
Cuba.
Scott. Somebody say something?
Viva la Cuba.
Cuba,
Viva la
motherfucker.
Cuba.
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 Viva la Cuba. Okay, I digress.
All right, so we got Ortiz against Malik Scott, and another couple fights on that card, which are pretty good ones as well. Jason Sosa, who defeated Javier Fortuna, who we just previously talked about, defending this title against one of the Smith brothers, Stephen Smith. And Martin Murray will be fighting Dmitry Chudinov, and Jamie McDonnell, WBA bantamweight champion, regular bantamweight champion, will be fighting Liborio Solis. So a very solid card this weekend in the UK, man. Let me get you guys' take on it. I'll start off with Big Cool on this one as far as Malik Scott versus Luis Ortiz, man. Your thoughts on that fight?
My thoughts are Malik Scott about to go down hard. I mean, Ortiz a beast, man. Beast, great fighter, tremendous puncher, counter puncher, boxer. For a guy that big, he's definitely very versatile. And I just don't think Malik Scott is gonna have anything to hold him off. He might last 3 rounds. Depends on the mood that Ortiz is in. I know Ortiz is looking to make a statement in this first fight with Eddie Hearn and Matchroom. And then he's on HBO. He's trying to send a statement to Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua, Joseph Parker, any other heavyweight that we consider relevant. He's going to try to make a statement with the dominant victory over Malik Scott, who is a good fighter, but I don't trust him in these situations because we all seen what he did against Deontay Wilder. That was like a fluky-ass type fucking fight. You know, I love Deontay Wilder, but that was bullshit. But we ain't got to worry about that. Once Ortiz land on him, we going to know it's real. He going to know it's real. And I expect Ortiz to get him out of there under 3 and make a big statement. As far as the other cards, other fights, I think the Martin Murray Chudinov fight is tricky because I like Martin Murray. He has been on the wrong side of some bad decisions, but he's looked horrible lately against George Groves. It was a fight I thought he was going to win. I think that's a 50-50 fight, and I expect Jason Sosa to win against Stephen Smith. I think he might stop him. And Jamie McDonnell, I expect him to win. So Eddie Hearn always put on great cards, man, and he's continuing to do that. And I expect a good weekend of fights.
Agreed. This is definitely a deep card for Matchroom. You know, especially with Jamie McDonnell, you know, being on the card as well, WBA champion, bantamweight champion. Jason Sosa making the title defense as well. Definitely a huge card over there in the UK. I'll pass it over to Bernard. Your thoughts on any of the fights on the fight card coming up this weekend?
I'm not gonna speak on the Ortiz or Scott fight, but I'm looking forward to that Jamie McDonnell fight.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the fight because who was the fighter he went against that he had 2 bouts with for the belt? Kameda. Maybe I'm wrong.
Kameda.
That's his name. Yeah, I felt Kameda won the second bout, but those were battles. So I really want to see how he fares in this fight right here against Solis. And I'm going to definitely want to check out the Jason Sosa versus Stephen Smith fight. You said one of the Smith brothers. 2K specializes in knowing about the Smith brothers, but my pick right now is for for Sosa to win that fight as well. So those are two bouts I'm really looking forward to, other than the Malik Scott and Ortiz fight.
All right, and we're going to pass it over to Cuba Loca himself to talk about his fellow Cuban heavyweight. What's your thoughts on the fight card this weekend and Ortiz versus Scott, man?
My thoughts is I'm glad that light-skinned guy ain't on the phone so he can discredit my fellow Cuban brother for fighting such a tough, valuable, quality, top contender opponent in Malik Scott. So I'm glad he ain't on the phone to discredit this fight.
Putting things on it.
I'm about to text you right now.
No, we said all we could say about Luis Ortiz versus Malik Scott. I don't think nobody's giving Malik Scott much of a chance. So as a matter of fact, I think they already got him scheduled for another fight already. So there's no point. But it doesn't take away from the fact that Malik Scott is a top level quality, top tier heavyweight.
Man.
And, you know, who brings a punch, who brings some reach, who brings some experience, who brings all of these things in the ring that my man, mi padre de la Cuba, la tengo grosso mucho de mi de la Pazano, into this fight. Okay, te voy a poner la cabeza, toda la persona hablando mal contigo. All right, so that's my thing for Luis Ortiz.
If I do that shit again, I'm muting you next time you do that shit.
I'm not, and no, I'm not talking bad to nobody on the phone. But one fight that everybody's talking about, that Sosa-Smith fight. Look, I got Sosa. I'm going to tell you why. Because each time Smith has stepped up in competition against Pedraza and Shelby, he lost. Shelby knocked him out. Pedraza outboxed him, and Sosa has more. I think Sosa has a higher knockout ratio percentage than Shelby. Sosa applies constant pressure, and you know, I just favor Sosa in this fight because, like I said, Smith, both times he stepped up his level of competition, you know, he lost. So I got Sosa in that fight. The other fight was what was the other one? Murray
versus Chudinov.
That's an intriguing one to me because just like my man Big Pooh said, Martin Murray, like, am I the only one, maybe I'm wrong, am I the only one that thinks the last time Martin Murray looked good is when he fought Sergio Martinez? Am I the only one that thinks that?
Nope. I mean, he looked okay against Abraham, but I mean,
I thought he beat Abraham, you know.
Yeah, me too.
Mm-hmm. Okay, then Abraham and Martinez was the last time Martin Murray kind of looked good. So, I'm interested in that fight because that's going to be a telling fight to me moving forward for Martin Murray as far as his career and what direction he should go in. You know, he might have been, he just might have been in too many wars, man. He just might have been in too many battles, and he can't pull that trigger anymore. He just don't have it there physically. So I'm interested in that fight more than any other fights on this card, is that one in particular, because that's going to be a telltale one. It's a good fight because it's gonna fill some seats up, definitely. You know, we talk about how the UK are about they fighters, so it's gonna fill some seats up. It's a good card that Eddie Hearn's put on because you can't say that no fight on this card is a total and complete wash. With the exception of maybe the heavyweight fight. But outside of that, you can't really say that no fight is a wash. But it's definitely a good fight to introduce Luis Ortiz, into for the UK people. And it's also a good way to build towards what some may be talking about, maybe an Ortiz-Joshua fight if Joshua gets past Klitschko. So, yeah, I like this card. But the fight that intrigues me is that Martin Murray fight more than either one of them because, like I said, I haven't seen him look good since Sergio Martinez and Arthur Abraham. So I'm curious to see just what this man has left.
Good assessment. I guess I'll tell my take on it. I don't really need to speak on Luis Ortiz versus Malik Scott. We know what that is already.
Give that man some respect. Yes, you do.
Nah, that's not being disrespectful. That's just saying it is what it is.
To me. It is to me. It's disrespectful to me.
Viva la Cuba, man. Dang, support the movement.
You got one more, man, and I'm calling immigration. You know what I'm saying? One more outburst. One more outburst.
Just to let y'all know, after my comments last week, you right, man. Wasn't too many Cuban talking with you, boy. So I might be in trouble.
But no, that's no disrespect to Luis Ortiz. It's just me knowing, what the fight is. I'm expecting a knockout, a quick and easy word from him. Something to excite the UK fans about and get their mouths watering for a potential Joshua fight later on, or seeing more of them. Hopefully a bigger fight after this one to come. With that said, the other undercards, I like the Jason Sosa-Stephen Smith fight. Like you said, every time Smith has stepped up, it hasn't been successful for him. But, he comes from a tough fighting family. I think he'll be well prepared. Sosa coming over to his backyard. It's not going to be an easy task. So, he's got that going for him as well. So I'm expecting to see a good fight out of that one. Possible knockout, like you said, because of Sosa's knockout ratio, and this is Smith fighting at 130 as opposed to 126. But, he seemed to take Pedraza's punch pretty well, even though he lost by UD. He's a pretty rugged dude, he's going to come in there to fight. So I'm expecting some exchanges, a lot of exchanges between the two of them, actually. Yeah, so it's probably going to be the fight most entertaining fight of the night, I think, other than Ortiz with his quick knockout. I guess as far as Murray and Chudinov, Murray's always been one of my favorite guys. I don't know. I just always appreciated him. He's just a hard-working dude, and, he's gotten the short end of the stick a couple times, so it's always stuck with me, but, he's always been one of my favorite guys, even though he's never been a world titleist or anything. Chudinov, of course, as you guys know, his one loss coming against Chris Eubanks Jr. So it's him actually moving up in weight to fight Murray at 168, which is where he's been fighting as of late. Nobody else really a note on his resume other than the Eubanks Jr. loss. So I'm expecting Murray to win this fight, UD, of course. But it will be interesting to see just how impressive he looks in this fight. If he doesn't look impressive, I will say it may be time for him to hang him up. Not much more for him to fight for, if he's not going to be in title contention at 168, especially after losing the way he did to George Groves earlier in the year. McDonnell, as far as Jamie McDonnell, I'm expecting him to win this fight. It's really a stay busy fight for him until he fights Rashid Warren, which they were supposed to fight. They had the purse bid, or they avoided purse bid and came to an agreement. But for whatever reason, they decided to hold off on the bout until next year, from what I've been reading. So I'm expecting this just to be a tune-up bout for McDonnell. Stay busy, stay sharp. Don't do anything to get yourself hurt or, the latest Rashid Warren fight coming up next year. So, with that said, it's a good, solid card, and, it's a big card for UK, with all these title fights on there as well. Of course, with the debut of the Cuban Luis Ortiz on the card. So, tremendous card, big up to Eddie Hearn for putting this one on. That's going to bring us to our U.O.E.N.O segment of the week. Man, this is crazy, man. Y'all won't believe this, but 20 years ago on this day, Evander Holyfield knocked out Mike Tyson in round 11 to regain, his WBA heavyweight title. 20 years ago on this day. Man, in Las Vegas. What can you say, man? Both Hall of Famers. our potential Hall of Famers, legendary boxers. Good era, come from a great era in the heavyweight division. What more can you say, man? The controversial fights they had, of course, the whole ear thing. For them to be able to get through this fight, of course, Mike was on his medication the whole time to get through it. So, they had to keep him on his medication the whole time to keep him through it.
Remember, this was a fight that many didn't give Evander Holyfield a chance because he was having heart problems.
Yeah. And you know what I want to say about this fight too? It had a religious undertone to it because I noticed a lot of people that were during the time when I was subscribed to the religion of Christianity, people would say this is Christians versus Islam, Muslims, because Evander Holyfield was a Christian, Tyson was a Muslim, so it had a religious undertone to that fight.
Yeah, and I wanted the devil to whoop Jesus' ass in that fight too. I couldn't stand it.
I guess that leads to the final blow for the week. I guess I'm on it, man. You know what? I'll be honest with y'all. I'm not even prepared for this one. I'm not even sure what to go into. We dove into so many things in boxing and.
Tag me in if you need to.
Everything.
Tag me in. You want to wait till next week? I got something to say.
No. Go ahead and finish what you're saying, man. Go ahead and get done. No, dog. We need to hear from you, man. Come on, man. You do not. No. Bernard ain't that shit, man. Bernard is on that bullshit today.
No, I'm on that fuckery today. Let the people want the fuckery. Shoot. Come on now.
Oh man, do I really want to hear this, Bo, or am I going to regret hearing it?
You go, man. You go.
Am I going to regret doing this? If I pass on the mic, am I going to regret it?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, why y'all do that? Why y'all do that?
You know what?
Go ahead, man. I'll go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm trying to go to bed, Negro.
Okay, I got this, Twine. I want to speak on a certain fighter, and his name goes by Timothy Bradley. Yes.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait. Hold on. Let me get my popcorn. This is something I want to hear.
Oh.
Yeah, and parental discretion. This won't be PG-13.
Oh, y'all want to back this up? Okay, Mr. Big Head himself decided he had to speak on that he don't want to fight Earl Spence because it doesn't bring him money. But it's not the fact about him speaking on Earl Spence. He started to shit on PBC and PBC fighters, including the whole situation with the potential fight of Thurman and Danny Garcia, saying, "Oh, that fight is okay." Thurman and Swift Cherry Picker, excuse me. So he started to speak on that fight, saying that fight is not going to happen because the contract is signed. Just and he was basically talking to who else? The number one person who hates PBC. Dan Raphael of ESPN. So I've got a question, and I just got not to y'all, but it's a rhetorical question. Now that you fighters, I thought we were supposed to be looking forward to hopefully trying to see in this Cold War, and here you is continue to promote the bullshit. Basically, you got wind of PBC fighters wanting to fight you, and now all of a sudden you shitting on PBC fighters. It doesn't make any sense, man. What's the point, man? This is boxing. And I was thinking since you want to be a champion, since you want to fight for championships, and you so desperate say you want to get one more title shot before you retire, you will want to fight somebody like a Keith Thurman or Swift Cherry Picker. You know what I'm saying? Or possibly even, okay, I'll give you K.O. Brooks. but you want to sit there and continue to shit on them because they associated with PBC and Al Heyman. Come on, man, quit that shit, man. And this is gonna happen. Now that Pacquiao has won,
No, we better not see no number 4. Hell no.
No. This was gonna happen. You won't fight for that bum-ass WBO title for the 4th time to try to get that
title.
Hell
no. I don't know why I want to see that.
I don't want to continue to see top-ranked fighters. Open that door and fight some of the PBC fighters. Fight some other fighters. We're tired of seeing that in-house stuff with y'all.
Tell them.
Always calling out with the PBC fighters. Now I'm calling y'all out on the top-ranked side. Open that door. Let's see some welterweight fights.
But no, I'm telling you, we tired of them rerun fights, man. Tell them we tired of them rerun fights.
I'm tired. Yeah, we all tired, man. What's next? I'm predicting if you don't get the Timothy Bradley and Manny Pacquiao for, you might get a Jessie Vargas versus Manny Pacquiao too. I mean, I would say it's only reasonable because Jessie Vargas may want to get his touchback. That's the only reason why I will agree with that fight. But other than that, we already saw the outcome of that fight, and that's it. I don't want to see no more rerun. Open that door. Bob, I'm calling you out. Timothy Bradley, I'm calling you out. Manny Pacquiao, I'm calling you out. Y'all need to open the door and let's get these fights made. The fans want it. The real boxer fans want it. Everybody wants to see it. Open the door and start talking that shit. And then shut the fuck up forever.
Damn. Told you, Tim. So he need an address.
He went off. He went off on Potato Head.
Is he? Yeah, but is he lying? Because something else he didn't mention was they pointed out would he fight the winner of that. And Bradley seemed hesitant. They was like, but, you'll have 2 belts. Well, I don't need 2 belts. Just 1, man. Sanctioning fees. Well, sanctioning fees is what happened when you accept house nigga money of $4 million while Pacquiao get 22.
Hold on. I want to speak
about sanctioning fees.
Bro, I'm glad you mentioned that. But wasn't he the unified junior welterweight champion?
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
So what did all of a sudden the sanctioning fees didn't play no role when you became a unified welterweight and junior welterweight champion? Why not try to do it up in the welterweight division? You talking shit. You scared, you big head bastard. Stop talking that shit, man.
Bradley definitely seemed like he in for the money fights now too. His name's been linked to Cotto most recently as far as his comeback fight next year. I personally don't want to see Bradley fight anybody else at 147 unless it's a PBC guy. We've seen him fight everybody on the top ranked banner at 147 already. I definitely don't want to see him against Jessie Vargas too, because they're both not champions now and could fight for some kind of contention against Manny Pacquiao for a rematch. I'm good on that shit. Definitely, I could agree with your sentiment on this one, Bernard. Open that door. If he's not going to fight Cotto, which I would be open to seeing that fight. If he's not going to fight Cotto, definitely open that door to fight some PBC fighters and shut the fuck up hating on them. They trying to get money like you, and you trying to make excuses about the money now. So, I agree with you, Bernard. With that said, man, that brings us to the conclusion of our show. Another episode down. Big up to my co-host tonight for holding it down. 2K can be with us. Hopefully we got him back next week. And, everybody else is safe. We got some good ones coming up next week, man. I'll be out there heading out to Vegas. Me, Bernard, will both be out there for the Ward Kovalev fight next week.
Yes, sir.
I'm not sure. We should be able to get a show in before we go on Wednesday, I'm guessing. I won't be going until Thursday night. So, yeah, we should be on. I'm expecting. With that said, man, for my co-hosts, 2K who couldn't be with us, big up to the God. Big Cool, Colossal Boxing Talk. We got Bo and Bernard, the Chief Facts About Boxing. Yes. And I am Twine the Divine Liberty of PoopJab.com. and together we are the movement. Till the next episode.